I'm back, Rudrance for Black and White Network. Well, let's talk about one of my all-time favorite rockers, Alice Cooper. That's right, school's out. Welcome to my nightmare, Poison, and my favorite particular album from Alice Cooper ever, Constrictor. That's right. Teenage Frankenstein, and of course, the theme song for one, Jason Lives, Friday the 13th, Part 6, my all-time favorite horror movie. Alice Cooper sings 2 jams in that, including the theme song, He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask. Well, the rocker, of course, he's been going for 40 years. A lot of people don't know this. Alice Cooper is a devout Christian. He's very religious, actually. Even with his rock music, he's very religious. And so he made some comments, what many would call, these are pretty common sense comments for a rocker these days. And guess what? He made these comments and he's already lost a deal with somebody he was partnered up with. They've already canceled him. I shit you not. Alice Cooper literally signed a partnership deal with what was called Vampire Cosmetics. Now we know Alice wears makeup. Signed a deal with them. 2 weeks later, he makes these comments. They fire him 5 hours ago. It's unbelievable. So now, if you speak out or you just make common sense comments about the fact that, you know, nobody should be trying to push anything onto children, like flipping genders. Oh, well, the radical thinking is Alice Cooper. Wait, what? No. But if you don't align with that LGBTQ ideology, if you don't condone this, it's going to be a wrap for you. It's crazy. By the way, Carlos Santana came out, made the exact same comments. He's already apologized. It hadn't even been a day. They just showed the apology on the TV screen while I was watching. He bent the knee at record speed. Now, we probably know what happened with Carlos. His agent called and said, your long career is about to be over. Now, is that true? No. Because I guarantee you, if he'd have stuck by those comments and just played music like Carlos Santana has always done, he would continue to pack the house. But no, he backed off. He bent the knee, got down on both knees, really. And here we go. Alice Cooper, Fox News, and I've got New York Post. By the way, the other comment he made is he went on tour with Johnny Depp. And you know, everybody's tried to cancel Johnny. Disney doesn't, they're going to regret not wanting to work with him on the Pirates of the Caribbean 25 or whatever number they're on. But my goodness, we can't work with him because of Amber Heard. Alice Cooper also made some comments about the fact that nobody gave a rat's ass that Johnny Depp was touring with Alice Cooper and playing in his band. We all know Johnny Depp is a musician. We'll get to that too. Legendary rocker Alice Cooper thinks modern, quote, woke ideology has gone too far. Cooper, born Vincent Damon Furnier, has had a decade-spanning career as a rock star whose performances are famously theatrical to the point he was once one of the most famous examples of the genre shock rock. Stereo Gum journalist Rachel Brodsky published an interview with the rocker Wednesday where she suggested he had, quote, played around with gender expectations as a performer in the past, but now some of his theatrical rock peers like Paul Stanley of Kiss and Dee Snider of Twisted Sister have voiced skepticism about aspects of gender ideology. She quoted Stanley describing some of it as, quote, sad and a dangerous fad. Cooper agreed. It is a fad and warned about how it affects children. Now, I do somewhat agree with this because we've talked about even on live streams about the fact that a lot of these kids are being used as pawns for their woke-ass radical parents. Okay? Look at me. We're brave, stunning, and courageous. We have a child that wants to transition. Oh, little Timmy. Yeah, believes he's a Teresa and not a Timmy. He's only 6 years old. My goodness. Let's have the surgery. And then it becomes a talking point around while they're all sitting around drinking their herbal teas. For crying out loud. Kids should not be pawns. It should not be a fad. It should not be a social status. But I'm telling you, that's part of this. And it's sick and it's gross. I'm understanding that there are cases of transgender, but I'm afraid that that's also a fad. And I'm afraid there's a lot of people claiming to be this just because they want to be that, he said. I find it wrong when you've got a 6-year-old that has no idea. He just wants to play, and you're confusing him, telling him, yeah, you're a boy, but you could be a girl if you want to be. Yeah, I, for one, will not be telling my son he can be a girl if he wants to be. At all. He went on to warn that this is dangerous not only for young children, but for teenagers as well. I think that's so confusing to a kid. It's even confusing to a teenager. You're still trying to find your identity, and yet this thing is going on? Yeah, but you can be anything you want. You can be a cat if you want to be. I mean, if you identify as a tree, and I'm going, come on. What are we in? A Kurt Vonnegut novel? This is so absurd that it's gone to the point now of absurdity. By the way, I saw a video the other day where a parent got mad at a school because the school called her, said, your kid is meowing like a freaking cat in class. She said, you're not going to squash my kid's identity. If he believes he's a cat, then he's going to be a cat. Check yourself directly into a mental institution, okay? Because there's something wrong with you. No, your kid's not a cat. He's a human. That's a thing. And that's coming from somebody that rescues cats, okay? I mean, stop it. He went on to muse about the phenomenon of woke ideology itself, wondering if it is a top-down phenomenon. This whole woke thing, nobody can answer this question. Maybe you can. Who's making the rules? He asked. Is there a building somewhere in New York where people sit down every day and say, okay, we can't say mother now. We have to say birthing person. No, I don't think it's in New York. I think it's in Hollywood. I'm just throwing that out. Get that out on the wire right now. Who is this person that's making these rules? I don't get it. I'm not being old school about it. I'm being logical about it. Extremely logical, Alice. I'm noting that he does not know anybody who agrees with this woke thing. He's telling you something we've been telling you. Have you ever met somebody that's actually down with this shit? Because I haven't. Ever. Alice Cooper. He literally comes across hundreds and hundreds of people all the time. Nobody he actually knows in that entire realm of musician, that musical world where people have partied themselves straight into a grave. Nobody has been that radical amongst that group. Think about that. I respect people and who they are, but I'm not going to tell a 7-year-old boy, yeah, go put on a dress because maybe you're a girl. He's going, no, I'm not. I'm a boy. He went on, I say, let somebody at least become sexually aware of who they are before they start thinking about there being a boy or a girl. Cooper added, a lot of times he views the issue the logical way. If you have these genitals, you're a boy. If you have those genitals, you're a girl. However, he did argue now there's a difference if you want to be a female. Okay, that's something you can do later on if you want to, but you're not a male born a female. Oh, God. Oh, I would say they're going to cancel you, but they've already canceled you. I kid you not. After the interviewer pushed back and expressed hope that parents, quote, listen to their kids and find pediatricians that provide appropriate care, Cooper stood his ground and warned that radical gender ideology may have unforeseen consequences. I can see somebody really taking advantage of this, though. A guy can walk into a women's bathroom at any time and just say, I feel like I'm a woman today, and have the time of his life in there. Somebody's going to get raped. And that's going, and the guy is going to say, well, I felt like a girl that day, and then I felt like a guy. Where do you draw the line? That's one of the more common sense breakdowns. I mean, it's brutal. It's a brutal breakdown, but it's totally logical. And by the way, we've already seen this happen. This is things we have talked about on this channel already, made videos about. You're seeing it in prison. You know, oh, I'm going to prison. I identify as Teresa today. Well, we're going to put you in a women's prison. Oh, the next story we're doing is 3 female inmates randomly show up pregnant. Yeah, we've done that story. Guess what? Because they dropped a damn dude into a woman's prison. What the hell did anybody think was going to happen there? So, anyway, Alex Cooper came out with these comments. Look, very sensical. It makes a hell of a lot of sense. I think most people with common sense will feel this way. And then this happens to Alice today. Just a little while ago. They're already making Alice pay the price. Alice Cooper canceled by cosmetics firm after opposing trans surgeries for kids. It literally cost him money that fast. One day, they are taking money away from Alice Cooper. I mean, it's crazy. Alice Cooper, the eyeliner wearing godfather of shock rock, was dumped by a cosmetics company after the singer questioned the rush to perform trans surgeries on kids, saying transitioning genders was a fad. The 75-year-old rock legend, whose hit School's Out and Welcome to My Nightmare had signed the brand partnership less than 2 weeks ago with Vampire Cosmetics, which markets spooky and gothic-themed makeup, lipsticks, palettes, and lashes. However, Cooper was canceled by the company after he expressed opposition to gender-affirming care for minors, which entails irreversible surgeries and hormonal treatments to facilitate the transition to the opposite sex. I mean, that's unbelievable. Just that quick, they cut Alice Cooper out of the loop. Cooper's tune didn't set well with Vampire, which sells its products in 130 stores, mainly concentrated in the New Orleans area. 130 stores in just New Orleans? Jesus. In light of recent statements by Alice Cooper, we will no longer be doing a makeup collaboration. The company wrote on Instagram and announcing it was cutting ties with Cooper over his comments. You're brave, stunning, and courageous, aren't you? We stand with all members of the LGBTQIA plus community. Did you miss one? Isn't there a 2 and an S in there somewhere now? Oh, wait. Excuse me. There's not an S. We took that back. It's for straight. And believe everyone should have access to health care. All pre-sale orders will be refunded. A spokesperson for Cooper declined to comment. The post sought comment from Vampire Cosmetics. The financial deals of the short-lived partnership were not available. Alice Cooper defends bringing Johnny Depp on tour. Of course, they probably tried to cancel Alice Cooper because he brought Johnny Depp on tour, and this is what Alice Cooper said about Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's a pretty good musician, by the way. Quote, I don't think it was ever mentioned on tour because nobody cared, Cooper said, adding he never watched a moment of the trials. It was blown out of proportion. It was such a Hollywood thing. I knew Johnny was going to win because of how many people have other exes literally on their side testifying for him. Dude, Johnny Depp had exes coming out of the woodwork on his behalf. I mean, for real, it felt like that was totally bogus. Again, Disney, nobody wants to watch an all-female Pirates of the Caribbean. Just throwing that out there. That never happens. I turned it right off and said, well, you know what? Johnny will weather this storm, and when he's on stage, he's our guitar player. Now, Johnny is in a group called Hollywood Vampires, his musical project with Alice Cooper. Okay, so he's in a band with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry from Aerosmith. That's pretty damn cool. Okay. Cooper said Depp didn't seem very concerned about the domestic abuse allegations Heard made against him. If you talk to Johnny about it, it was something that happened. He was just like, yeah, what's the next song? For Johnny, it was one of those things where you can't say it got blown out of proportion, but I don't know why they would televise the proceedings, right? It's because of the fame of both people. So he literally just said, and I guess Alice Cooper got some blowback for having Johnny Depp on his tour or being in a band or a musical project with him, but he was like, Alice Cooper gave them the kiss my rear on that as well. Nobody cared. That's right, nobody cared. If I go see Alice Cooper and Johnny Depp comes out, I'm going to be like, hell yeah. Let's rock, I mean, I love metal bands anyway. I've been to a lot of concerts. So that would be cool. Anyway, I've seen some pretty wild folks walk out on a concert out of nowhere randomly over the years. And that's pretty freaking cool. There's like some random show up and you're like, oh my God, they're here. It's just one of those things. Again, Carlos Santana, what are you doing? Take a page. I mean, at least I don't believe Alice Cooper will bend the knee. He doesn't feel like the kind of person that's going to bend the knee on this situation. Alice Cooper's always been sort of an example of common sense for somebody that's wearing black ass makeup on his face and going out and screaming into a microphone. I mean, he just sort of has. He's a weirdly, randomly grounded dude. He's a huge golfer. I mean, Alice Cooper is a very famous amateur golfer. He loves golf. He's been playing it forever, 30 years. There's pictures all over the place of Alice Cooper wearing polo shirts so he can go out and golf in his little golfing gloves. It's hilarious. But he's one talented SOB, I guarantee you that. I think I've had 3 or 4 Alice Cooper albums in my life, actually. Big Alice Cooper guy. Seriously. Man, hats off. Like him even more now that I realize he's got even more common sense than I thought he had. But it cost him some money already. And this is why we don't see a lot of people speak out, because, bam, they hit them right in their pocketbook first thing. It's pathetic. Look, Alice Cooper, you got so much money. Create your own line of vampire cosmetics, and common sense people will buy it at Halloween, I guess? Question mark? I don't know. Maybe you're having an Alice Cooper themed party at your house. I don't know. Needless to say, still, he did the theme song for my favorite horror movie ever. So, who cares? Good job, Alice. Tell me what you think. Black and White Network supporters, peace. I'm out. Till next time.